So, you're struggling to film the videos for your business pages. You're thinking, do I need all of this camera gear? Can't I just use my phone? Absolutely. In fact, did you know that the camera is the least important part of filming? Today, I'm going to break down the 3 most important parts of filming in order. So, if you're struggling, stick around. I think I can help. I'm sure you're thinking, how can the camera not be the most important part? But what could be more important? It's actually your audio. If I can't hear you, I'm not getting the information and I'm clicking off. The second most important part is your lighting. If I can't see you clearly, I'm more likely to click off. And then the last part to worry about is the camera. If you have good audio and good lighting, then it doesn't matter what camera you use. You can use your phone or your computer camera. If that's all that you have. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to help you improve your overall video quality without breaking the bank. So, let's dive in. Have you ever clicked on a video and it sounded like crap? It was crackly, distorted, too quiet, or in a loud, noisy room. Did you finish watching that video? Probably not. Audio quality is widely regarded as more important than video quality. If the audience can't hear you, then they aren't going to stick around. And you want to make sure people stick around. So, here are 3 tips to help improve your audio. First off, record in a quiet place. The world, it's noisy. Most people don't realize until they try recording something. Maybe there are people talking or an air conditioner is humming. All of these things are bad for filming. Try to find a nice, quiet room with no sound. Also, try to not use a room that has too much echo. Empty rooms will bounce your audio all over the place, making it really difficult to hear. If you have some blankets, you can put them up on the walls to help dampen the echo. Number 2, use a pair of earbuds or headphones. Most people don't just have microphones laying around, but most people have items that have microphones built into them. If you're filming on a smartphone, most, if not all, Bluetooth headsets have microphones built into them. This will get you better audio than through your phone mic. Some wired headphones have mics built in as well. A dedicated mic that is close to your face is going to sound better than your phone mic. I have the AirPod Pro 3s, and they have some great noise reduction filters built in. But if you really want to improve your audio, then it's time to buy a mic. After trying everything else and you still aren't happy with the audio quality, and you really want your audio to stand out, then it's time to buy a mic. A dedicated microphone will be the biggest game changer for your audio quality. You can get some pretty great mics for not a lot of money. I use the DJI Mic 3. The receiver can directly connect to my iPhone. This is the audio recorded through the phone mic. This is the audio recorded through the AirPods. This is the audio recorded using the DJI 3 mic. If your video setup is a desk, get a nice tabletop mic. You don't have to spend a lot to get decent quality. Now that your audio is set, let's take a look at your lighting. People often make the mistake of just turning on the camera and shooting. And then you're wondering why your engagement is down when your video looks like this. If you didn't give any thought into your lighting,
you're gonna have a bad time.
Lighting is more important than your camera. You could have the best camera in the world, but it won't matter if your scene looks like crap. But what is good lighting? Technically it's subjective, but generally you're gonna want soft lighting with no harsh shadows, clearly lighting your face, not darkening your eyes, and watch out for conflicting color temperatures. So, here are 3 tricks to help you get better lighting. Most people don't have a studio and a bunch of lights like I do. You're probably wondering, how do you get great lighting without all of this? Let's just use the natural sunlight. It's free, unlimited, and can be pretty nice. If you have any windows, use this light, but you don't want direct sunlight coming through. Direct sunlight is too harsh, and it creates really harsh shadows. It also makes you squint, which just doesn't look good. What you want is just the residual light from everything else outside coming through the window. This is called open shade. It's nice and soft. It'll soften up those wrinkles that you definitely don't have. You can get a similar effect outside standing under a tree or other shading. But if you're still struggling to find good lighting, one trick that I use is the cupped hand technique. What you want to do is hold your hand all the way out and cup your hand facing towards you like this. Now spin around. Look at what the lighting is doing to your hand. Are there harsh shadows? Just keep spinning. When you find pleasing lighting, set up your camera and shoot. And then to give yourself a bit of contrast, turn yourself up to 90 degrees from your lighting source. Now I've got some nice contrast on my face. Not all light is created equally. You've got a great space with some nice open shade lighting coming through a window, and you think, I'll turn on the overhead light to fill in everything a bit more. Oh, not so fast. The light in your space is not created equally to the open shade sunlight. It's likely going to be the wrong color temperature, and this can mess with your video's overall color temperature, and it's just not a good look. If your skin looks blue or any other color than what it's supposed to be, then your color temperature is off. So turn off that overhead light. Stay away from fluorescent lighting. The old fluorescent light had a strong green cast to it, just like in all the movies from the 90s. Keep an eye out for conflicting color temperature light sources. These days you can buy bulbs in a variety of color temperatures. So if you need that extra fill, get the right bulb. Otherwise, it's time to buy a light. Natural light worked out pretty well, but you want a little more control. Or you can't film during the day and the lighting in your place kind of sucks. Well, then it's time to buy a light. Buying the right light can be hard. The market is flooded with all sorts of lights, and you don't know what you need. Well, don't worry, got you covered. Here are some things to consider when buying your first light. First is your budget. How much can you spend on a light? There are lights in every price range. In general, the more you spend, the better and brighter your light will be. But if you don't have a lot of money to spend, you can find something that won't break your wallet. If you have a bit more to spend, investing that into a better light can save you headaches down the road. How much space do you have for a light? You might be in a tiny room right next to a wall, or you might have 1,000 square foot space. In general, large light sources produce softer light. Go for something that fits in your space. Then number 3, modifiers. A light modifier is any device or accessory placed between a light source and the subject to control, shape, or alter the quality of light. Some examples include soft boxes, cones, or spotlights. Most lights don't come with soft boxes. They'll usually come with just a cone. A direct light source is not a soft light source, and you want a soft light source. If you don't have a whole lot of money, here are a few ways that you can soften up that light. Put up a white sheet in between you and the light. Or if you have a white wall in your space, you can bounce the light off of that wall. But if you have money and you have space, then just go ahead and get a nice big softbox to go with that nice big light of yours. Now that we've got our lighting figured out, it's finally time to worry about your camera. These days, all cameras are pretty great. It's tough to find a bad camera, but more time and money has gone into the camera on your phone than in any other camera in history. So do you need a fancy camera? No, but there are advantages to having one. A professional camera is going to have a larger sensor, pairing that with a nice lens, and boom, a better image. But if you're stuck with your phone or your computer camera for now, here are a couple of tips to make your images look better. First off, steady your shot. Handheld shaky shots are not cool. This isn't a Jason Bourne film. It's a marketing video. If your video is shaking all over the place, it's tough to see what's happening. So steady your shot. You can use some books or a computer to prop up your phone, but your best bet is to just get a phone stand. They're pretty cheap, very handy. You've got your phone and you've got your stand. Can't you just put it somewhere and start filming? Well, yes, but what does your shot look like? Are you tiny in the frame with a bunch of stuff all over the place? Or are you right up on the camera showing just your chin? Be mindful of how you look in the frame. Try to fit yourself or the subject into the frame. Also, try to keep your camera at eye level, unless you're going for a dramatic effect. Make sure you are the subject of your video. After you've gone through all of these tips, your video quality should be much better. So, then is it time to buy a camera? The answer is, well, maybe. It really depends on the platform that you're posting to. For a platform like TikTok, the talking head on your phone performs pretty well actually. For other platforms like YouTube and Instagram, quality is an amplifier. So, if YouTube or Instagram is your platform of choice, then it's probably time to buy a camera. Buying a camera is a big decision with a lot of choices. And like I said, all cameras are pretty great these days. And everyone's gonna have different use cases as well. So, here are 3 things to consider when buying your first camera. Number 1, your budget. Do you have some money to put down? Because cameras get really expensive. There's also plenty of decent, inexpensive options as well. Sure, the $10,000 camera does everything, but do you really need everything? Probably not. So do some research. Pick a brand that you like and start small. Anywhere between $500 and maybe $1,000 should get you started. And when you get used to the workflow, then start thinking about upgrading. Number 2, lenses. All cameras need lenses. The quality of the lens can be more important than the quality of the camera. The lens is the filter through which the camera sees the world. Investing in good glass can set you up for success down the line. However, lenses can be just as expensive as cameras, and buying more than one lens adds up really quickly. There are some pretty good, less expensive brands out there, but their availability can depend on the camera brand you choose. So, do some research, find the best option for you and your budget. Number 3, other accessories. Cameras need a lot of stuff to work. It's not just as easy as putting on a lens and shooting. You need batteries, memory cards, filters, tripods, and hard drive storage. All of this adds up pretty quickly, whereas your phone has most of this built into it. So if you're thinking about making the plunge into buying a camera, keep all of these extra expenses in mind. You'll want to save a few $100s just to get the camera running. And that's the last piece of the puzzle. Getting good quality video is not hard to do. With a few simple tricks and some inexpensive gear, we can get much better footage. So start with good audio, then fix your lighting, and lastly worry about your camera. Now go get to filming. In my next video, I'm covering how to edit all of that footage you're about to capture. So subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss it. Or me. Bingo bango.